let's dive straight in. So we all know that everyone is either left or right-handed, with the rare case of being ambidextrous. But first of all, what is handedness?
Handedness or hand preference is the tendency to be more skilled and comfortable using one hand instead of the other for tasks such as writing and throwing a ball. On average, 85 to 90% of people are right-handed and 10 to 15% of people are left-handed. Handedness develops during the early stages of life and then stays consistent throughout life.
So what causes handedness? Researchers believe that hand preference arises as part of a developmental process that differentiates the right and left sides of the brain, called brain lateralization. If two parents are right-handed, their child has a 10% chance of being left-handed. However, if the child has a parent who is left-handed, there is a 22% chance of them being left-handed. If both parents are left-handed, the chance goes up to 27%.
The genetic proposal to explain hand preference states that there are two alleles associated with handedness, the C gene and the D gene. The D gene, which is more frequently occurring, promotes right hand preference. The C gene is less likely to occur, but when it is present, the hand preference is determined randomly, meaning that they have a 50% chance of being right-handed and a 50% chance of being left-handed.
Now let's look at dominant eyes. Dominant eyes is when you use one eye more than the other, have better vision in one eye, or can focus on something better with one eye. Knowing which eye is dominant can be important for activities that require you to focus on a target, such as archery or looking through a microscope. Approximately 30% of the population has a dominant left eye, while 70% of the population has a dominant right eye.
Taking all of this into account, we decided to conduct an experiment to see if there is a connection between handedness and dominant eyes. We then also decided to use these results to calculate the probability of all four possible combinations. For example, right hand and right eye, right hand and left eye, left hand and right eye, and left hand and left eye.
We started off by taking a random sample of 50 students from our school. We made small paper sheets for each student to fill out. Firstly, to see which eye is their strongest, we drew a dot on the board and asked them to make a circle with their hands as shown. Then we asked them to close an eye and see if the dot is still in the middle. If the dot stays in the middle, then the eye they have open is their dominant eye. We also asked them their hand preference.
Now let's look at the results of the experiment. We analysed the results and decided to display them in the form of a bar chart and a pie chart. All of the results were supported by our research. Additionally, based on these results, we were also able to calculate the probability of a 12 to 18-year-old chosen randomly of having one of these four combinations.
So the moment that you've all been waiting for, is there a connection between handedness and your dominant eye? Well, while your dominant hand and eye are linked because they both relate to how the brain's hemisphere control particular functions in the body, this link is not always consistent and people can have different combinations of hand and eye dominance. Therefore, taking all of our background research and results into account, we conclude that there is no consistent relationship between your dominant hand and your dominant eye.
We really enjoyed learning about this topic and we hope you did too. Thank you.